Welcome everyone to Doga Yoga. Today we are inside because it is raining outside, which is great. So we're in the cozy little yoga space. And today what we're doing is a beautiful slow flow. So we'll be going through a vinyasa, but we're going to be moving intentionally, slowly, luxuriously. So this is really great to calm down the mind, get that movement, so get that kind of energy out, but really just relax and release at the same time. So we're going to start in seated. Come on down, tailbone connects to the earth, come into cross-legged, however you like, just like we were a kid in primary school. If cross-legged is hard for you, extend one leg. Super, super easy. You can have the knee as bent as you need, and what we're doing is trying to get a nice straight spine. So imagine a string coming out from the top of your head, pulling you to the sky. So nice and long. So place your hands on your knees here. Close down the eyes and just bring your awareness out of the to-do lists, the problem solving, the future and the past. And just start to notice the body. Bring your awareness into the rise and fall of your breath. So inhale, feel the belly, the ribs, the collarbones rise, feel the whole body expand. Exhale, feel your body naturally just relax and let all the air go. Feel the belly, the ribs, the collarbones. And exhale. Start to ground into the earth. Imagine yourself gluing yourself onto your mat, gluing yourself into this present moment. And letting go of all of the things that distract us from the here and now in our head. When we're ready, we're all gently going to take our fingers wide, just reach to the side of the room, take your time, palms up. And it's harder than it seems. Inhale, reach the fingers to the sides of the room and soften. Imagine we're holding plates. Open up the chest, breathe and soften. One more big, beautiful inhale and soften. Inhale, we'll take our hands up overhead once more, fingertips touch. And then we're going to place our left hand, so I'm mirroring you, place our left hand on the ground and we're going to lean towards the left. So our gaze goes towards the sky underneath that armpit and we're grounding down that right hip. So flow here with your breath, reach and kind of lengthen the body on your inhale. Feel that expansion that we were focusing on. And exhale, and just let yourself soften, let the whole body just kind of sink into the earth, let gravity do its thing. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Now being on this forearm might be a bit much for you, so you can just be on the fingers, you might also be on a block. Just what we're facilitating here is this beautiful side body stretch and release. When you're ready, gently make your way back into a seated position. Imagine that string pulling you tall and take your way to the other side. So plant that right palm down. You might come onto the forearm if you've got this kind of movement and flexibility in the side, and then reach the upper hand over, gaze to the sky. Imagine we're keeping an eye out for an airplane. So feel this beautiful stretch from the hips all the way to the shoulders and the ribs everywhere in between. And just flow with your breath, expanding on the inhale and softening on the release. Inhale and exhale. Take your time. Just Slow down. Savor the sensation. And already we're gently going to come back to center. Imagine yourself growing tall, and we're just going to place our palms in front of us. Now this might be a lot for you. You might just place your fingers on the ground in front. And this might be enough for you. So we're going to lean forward over our legs. So you might be like, okay, here is more than enough. If you'd like to go on, spider your fingers forward. Bring the forehead down to the ground. And just release here. You might rock side to side. You might be still. You might just be leaning forward a millimeter, and that's great. We're just gently opening up the hips, opening up the lower back. Just getting a little bit of release here with the rise and fall of our breath. Relax the jaw, the neck, the shoulders. When you're ready, come on up. And we're simply going to swap our feet. So whatever foot you have on top, so I've kind of taken a half lotus position. Whatever foot you've got in front or in top or extended, we're just going to swap them the other way. So bring them around, take your time. It's going to be different for all of us. Our bodies are all different. So find what works for you. Find that length and then fold. Ground down the tailbone and release. Make big, beautiful breaths. When we're ready, come on up. We're going to make our way over into our tabletop position. So for those of you who don't know what tabletop position is, it's simply coming over onto all fours. I'm just going to put my hair back here. Come on over. Knees underneath our hips, wrists underneath our shoulders, toenails pressing into the earth, and we're going to drop our belly, send our gaze high to the sky. Cow. And then exhale, send our gaze towards our navel, chin to chest, cat. Inhale to cow. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Take your time, move with your breath. You might freestyle a little bit, shake the hips side to side. Take a little circle. And when we're ready, come back to stillness. We're going to tuck the toes under and send the hips up and away into our downward facing dog. Now press into all 5 fingers, all 5 toes. Just take your dog here, or find your dog. Imagine there's that string pushing or pulling our tailbone higher into the sky. Our crown of the head's going towards the earth. Imagine we're squeezing a balloon in between our biceps, so we're squeezing them in towards one another, and our shoulder blades melt down the back. Breathe here, really take your time. Notice the differences side to side if you're putting weight into one foot or the other, one hip or the other. You might start to lengthen the legs and the heels down a little more. And when we're all ready, bend our knees generously, look towards our hands and really pull back that tailbone. So really, really pull back. Step, walk or jump up into a forward fold. Now relax the crown of the head down here. Really take your time. Wrap your arms around your elbows and release. So shake side to side if that feels good for you. You might shake the head, yes and no. Literally let the weight of the world melt off our shoulders. And just feel the lower back just kind of open up and release a little bit more. If you press firmly into all 4 corners of your feet, feel the legs activate, you'll feel the upper carriage or the upper body kind of sink a little deeper because it's more supported by the legs. And already unclasp the hand or elbows, put our hands onto our knees, and we're going to push away. Imagine we're shooting the side wall with the crown of our heads halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Now we're going to bend our knees and slow flow, super slowly roll up vertebra by vertebra. So tuck our tailbone towards the earth, really kind of massage out the spine, coming on up. Super beautiful big arm circle up overhead, fingertips touch here. And back to heart center. 2 breaths while we make our way to the very tops of our mat. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. On our next inhale, beautiful big arm circle up overhead, nice and slow. Fingertips touch, little back bend if you like. And then exhale, hands wide, bend our knees as much as we need, and we're gently going to fold forward, hinging at the hips. So sending the crown of the head towards the earth, the hands come to the ground, the shins, you can grab the backs of the thighs. Do what feels good for you. Now we're really going to take time to really savor this sensation. So weight in all 4 corners of the feet. You can see if you can straighten the legs a little. And we're trying to hinge from the hips. So instead of rounding our spine, we're trying to kind of just let it hang from the hips, lengthening still. Melt our shoulder blades down away from our ears. Just feel that weight melt off our shoulders as we breathe. When we're ready, we're going to bend our knees, plant our hands. We're gently going to take 1 step back and then the other into full or half plank. So take your time here. Hello, baby boy. Inhale, lengthen, and hold. Lengthen. Oh, kisses, and hold. 2 more. Length, and hold. Now, if you can, if you don't have a dog leaning against you, we're going to lower down onto the earth, chest rest, untuck the toes. Come on up very slowly. Take your fingers wide if you like. Into cobra. No kisses. Thank you. So really hold here for a few breaths. You can be on the fingertips, hands wide, or you can just be pressing the palms into the earth. Where elbows are bent and they're squeezing in towards one another. Shoulder blades are down the back. So you'll feel this in your lower back quite a lot. Press into the tops of the toes and the hips for greater support as we breathe. Your cobra might look a lot different to mine. You might just have your hands underneath your shoulders and just lifting up the chest to start with. That might be where you're at today. And that is absolutely perfect and beautiful. This is a whole class of meeting our body where it's at. So just find what feels good and natural for you. When we're ready, lower down. Tap the forehead towards the earth. Press into the hands. We're going to come into child's pose. Really soften and release. You might shake a little side to side or rock side to side. When we're ready, we're going to tuck our toes under, press into our hands and slowly come back up into that beautiful downward facing dog. Feeling a greater opening, a greater sense of center, maybe a greater sense of self. Often we get lost in our thoughts, lost in the to-do list. I know I do when I'm like, all of the things. And you kind of forget that sense of self, that kind of center part of you that is always there, who loves us unconditionally and who knows that we can do whatever we put our mind to. So slowing down allows us to kind of calm all of the ego mind is what it's called in yoga, but those to-do lists, that little voice who's a bit of an asshole sometimes in our head. And connect with that deeper part of yourself, that true part of yourself that knows you can do anything. When we're ready, we want to come down onto our knees, into our tabletop position. So we might walk our hands in a little bit to find that. And we're going to push our right foot behind us. Hold here, take our time, still squaring off the hips to the ground. When we're ready, we're going to take that foot out to the side, coming into our gate pose. So for those who haven't done gate before, just press into this foot, really the outside edge. Imagine we're kind of like holding a $50 note on the ground. by the outside edge of our foot. When we're ready, we're going to walk our hands into our knees, roll on up, balancing on this left foot. Big arm circle up overhead, little back bend if you like, and hands back to heart center. Just hold here, find your balance. This might be where you're at today. Hello, baby. We might have our hands on our knees, or hands on our hips, sorry. And when we're ready, we're going to take our hands up overhead once more, big arm circle, and we're going to lean just gently towards that outside foot. So another nice side body stretch, something we're really focusing on today. Send our shoulders down the back, gaze is high. And just breathe. Feel that nice stretch from the left hip to the ribs, ribs to the shoulders. You might feel it from the shoulders to the elbow. We're ready, come on up. Hands wide. We're gently going to make our way back into our tabletop position. So come back into our tabletop position. Now we're going to keep on working this right leg. We're going to get this foot in between our hands. Now take your time. Melt the hips down. Untuck those back toes if you like. You can keep them up. That is completely your choice. And just kind of sink the hips down as much as we can into a lunge. Now you might be here, this might be more than enough for you. You might actually have books. Harry Potter books are great to start a yoga practice. They're kind of like the right thickness and weight. So stack them under your hands to kind of get up a little higher to help. You might have a pillow under this back knee as well. Or if you'd like to come on, place your hands on your right knee and just gently push yourself up into a low lunge. Now you might stay here. This might be more than enough for your balance, kind of aligning. If you'd like to go on, send the hands up overhead and then sink the hips a little deeper. Gaze goes high. If you'd like to go on, bend the elbows, open up the chest. When you're ready, arms wide, reach them to the sides of the room, sweep them down, frame that foot, and come back into our tabletop position. Take your time. When we're ready, left toes behind us and hold here. Flex the toes, so kind of point them down towards the ground as much as we can. Imagine we're pushing into a wall with that back foot. Holding here. And we're ready to take that foot out to the side. Let's see if I can hit the wall. Nope, missed it. Awesome. So press into the outside edge of that foot. Imagine we've got like a note, something really important that we're kind of holding on to. It can be $50 note, it could be a love letter, it could be whatever resonates with you, but just don't let it go. Walk the hands in towards the knees, roll on up. Big arm circle, little back bend if you like, fingertips touch and hands back to heart center. Just stay here. You might have the hands on the hips here for balance, so just find what works for you. If you'd like to go on, big arm circle up overhead, fingertips touch, lean towards that foot. So finding this nice side body stretch once more. From the hip to the ribs, ribs to the shoulder, shoulder to our elbow even. If we get a nice side body stretch there. Lean back a little, gaze high. When ready, come on up. Beautiful. Sweep the hands down, around and come back into our tabletop position. Now, don't put this foot on the ground. If you want something a little bit extra, a little bit more spice, step it straight through in between our hands, sink ourselves into our lunge. Grab our Harry Potter books, our blocks, to kind of stack onto our hands to kind of bring the ground closer to us. Props are our friends. And just breathe here. So we're really sending the hips down and away and our gaze high. So we're opening up the chest. Collarbones are wide. Imagine we're showing off a nice necklace. And then smiling as well. Having a nice smile to go with that necklace. Now you can stay here. We can place that hand on that knee. Rise on up. Now this might be where you're at today in your lunge. And feel this nice stretch on this right hip flexor. If you'd like to go on, hands high, sink the hips down, gaze high. Press into that front big toe. Elbows wide. If we want to go on, hello puppy. Take the arms really, really wide. Reach, open up the chest. Sweep them around. Frame the front foot and come back into your tabletop position. We're going to walk our hands to our knees once more. roll on up, nice and slow. And we're just going to simply place our hands on our hips. Now we're going to get into our lower back here, a little back bend. So get the heel of our hand into this kind of fleshy part of our lower back, just where our butt meets our lower back. We can feel it there. And we often know that that's quite sensitive. So you will, if you touch it and you've got quite a sensitive lower back, you'll know about it. So just be gentle here. So we would just want to massage side to side with the heel of our hands, just opening up our lower back. And what we're helping here is our flexion. So the lower back is brilliant at folding forward and folding back. However, from sitting all the time, and as a lot of us know, that range of motion is impeded because the joints seize, all the muscles around the joints, the fascia, the tissue kind of lock because we don't back bend. So you can send your fingers, if you want to go on, send your fingers to the sky, so kind of send them up towards your ribs, press the heel of the hand into the lower back, and you can open up your chest here more fully. If you have the full expression of this pose, you can send your hands onto the soles of your feet, hips forward, chest high, really opening up the lower back. And already we're all going to come high. And there's kind of fold, concertina, hips come to the heels, forehead comes to the earth, and hands go to the toes. So we fold into this little ball. It's amazing how compact our body kind of folds away when we want to. So this is our full child's pose. So just breathe here, soften and release. When you're ready, send your hands forward. Come on up, and we're just going to cross our ankles and roll over onto our backs. Take our time. Now our feet are connecting to the earth, our knees are pointing towards the ceiling, and we're going to just rise our right foot high. So this can be, you might have your knee super bent, the foot flexed, just getting into this hamstring, into this calf. So you might just have your hand here, just starting this movement. Or you might start to straighten the leg, point the toes, nice stretch, and be able to bring those toes a little bit towards the front of the room. So you might be able to squeeze your hands or sneak your hands up towards your shin, bring the toes a little bit closer towards the nose. Breathing here. And if this isn't available to you, if you're like, this just doesn't feel good, just start taking circles. So get our toes towards the sky however we can, and just take circles one way and then the other. Just gently massaging out the lower back, getting a little bit of movement. Feels really nice. And when ready, just place that foot down to the ground, connect it to the earth. Just feel your lower back, just really enjoy that sensation. I'm going to lift the left toes high, and we might have the super bent knee, foot flexed still, just to kind of take the weight off our calves. Just gently start to bringing it towards our nose. We can start to straighten it a little more, bringing that toe towards our nose, hands sneak up the legs. Hello, Bobby, what's up? Hey, hello. You want to go outside in the rain? Oh, kisses. So just find your spot here. Thank you, Baba. For those who haven't met Merlin, welcome, Merlin. And when we're ready, we're going to place or you can take circles with the toes, actually. I'm getting distracted by puppy kisses. Yes, I'm getting distracted. No kisses. And when we're ready, just come on down, relax and release yourself onto the mat. Have your hands on your belly or beside the body. Let your feet flop out to the side. And just take 5 deep breaths here, really allowing you to let go. No kisses. Thank you. When you're ready, gently send your arms up overhead. Wiggle the fingers and toes, roll the wrists and ankles, and just make your way over onto a side that suits you, using your arm as a pillow. Come up into seated in your own time. Taking that cross-leg variation that suits you. And when we're ready, we'll take one big arm circle up overhead. Fingertips start to reach towards the sky and then back to heart center. Find that little bit of stillness, that little bit of softness as we've slowed down today. Reconnecting with that true self. Letting go of the ego mind, even if it's just for a little bit. And thank yourself for connecting with the present moment. Just taking the time to step on your mat and carving out your practice today. All together we'll take one big arm circle all together up overhead, fingertips touch and back to heart center. Sending you lots of love and gratitude, beautiful yogis. Namaste.